it's time to add collectible coins to the game. We'll start with going to the level prototyping folder and open the interactable folder. And over here, right click and create a new blueprint. We'll choose an actor blueprint and we'll name it BP underscore coin. And we'll open that up. The first thing we'll do is add a sphere mesh and we'll move it up by 50 in the Z axis. And we'll scroll down to the collision preset and set it to overlap all dynamic. And next, and inside of the sphere, we will add a sphere collision. And we'll make sure that the location is 0. And we'll set the sphere radius to 64, so it's bigger than the actual mesh. And by default, the sphere collision preset is always overlap all dynamic. This is always the case when we add a collision. And we'll go to the event graph. And here, we can use this default event actor begin overlap. And this is basically similar to if we just go, click here, and then press begin overlap. But this one is specific to only the sphere if we do this here. But this one is for the entire coin blueprint. So anything inside of here, including the mesh and the collision, will all be counted as an overlap in this event here. So from here, in the other actor, we will cast it to the BP underscore layer. And if it's true, we will destroy the actor. And then we'll save, compile, and let's dock this here. Let's drop a coin somewhere here in the level. Let's put it over here. Press play. And now when we go, it disappears when we touch it. And that's because we're the player blueprint. Now, for now, it's just a sphere. So let's use a mesh for it that looks like a coin. So we go back to the level prototyping and we press the import button and we go back to the main folder of the asset. And over here, we'll go to power-ups and pickups. And in here, we have the item underscore coin. Select this and press import. And it will import the mesh and material as always. And then press save all. And you can drag and drop the materials into the material folder and the mesh into the meshes folder. And then back into the coin, let's go to the mesh and let's actually change this mesh to static mesh and save, compile. And let's scroll up and over here in the static mesh setting, we will set the coin mesh. And you see here now that it's partially white, and that's because when you change the mesh, it sometimes uses the material of the previous mesh. So in that case, we just have to press the reset button here, and it will give it the actual material of the mesh. Then we save, compile, and press play. And now we have a nice coin over here, and we can pick it up. Now let's make it feel more like a pickup, and we can do that by adding a rotating movement, similar to what we did before in the cube. And we keep the default settings here, and just save, compile, and press play. And now it's nicely rotating, and it feels like a pickup item. And see, it's just like what we did before with this cube. But for now, when we're picking it up, it's not really changing anything for the player. So let's go back and open the player blueprint. And in here, we'll create a new function. Previously, I told you how we can create these functions in the event graph, but we can also create functions in here. But by the way, first, let's clean things up a bit here. So let's take this, the sword one we did before, press C, and write the sword collision overlap. And over here, we write the attack. And then finally over here, we do the on landed art. And that's much more organized. And so, To create a new function, we can do it through here by pressing this plus button, and we'll call it collect coin. And next we'll create a new variable, and we'll call this coins collected. And for now, by default, it's a Boolean. We want to change that to an integer. An integer is basically just a normal number. So over here you can see it's 1. And if you try to drag it upwards, it just goes normally. Now the difference between an integer and a float, I can show you quickly here by selecting float, press save and compile. Now you can see a float has decimals. And that's the big difference with a float and an integer. So in our case, we don't need any decimals, so an integer is good enough. So we save, compile that, and we set it back to 0. And now, every time we collect a new coin, we will drag this here, do a get, and then drag it again into a set. And basically here, we'll add a new coin every time we call this function. So we will get this and do a plus. You can actually, by the way, just press the, instead of typing in add, you can just press the plus button. Same thing with multiply, you can just press the multiply symbol. So anyways, back to plus, add, and we'll just put in 1 here and add this. Now what we did here is basically we took the coin collected value and then we added 1 to it. If we didn't do that and we just have set 1, then it will always just be 1. So that's why we have to add on top of it. So put that back here and save and compile. And just to be able to see this number, we will print string for now and then connect that to here. And now it's converting the integer to a string and then printing it and save and compile. And also let's just like put a few more coins and put it down here. Just for testing, and press play. And now when we collect them, oh yes, we didn't call the function yet. So we go back to the coin, and over here, before we destroy it, from the player, we will call the collect coin function. And we connect that here, and then afterwards destroy the actor, save, compile, and then press play. And now we go here, and as you can see, the number is going up on the top left corner. And we have a basic coin collection system. And that's it for this lesson.